Hello, everyone. My name is Jeron Trotman, and I am a board certified behavior analyst with a master's in psychology, specializing in applied behavior analysis. I am the president and founder of Black Men in Behavior Analysis. I am also the founder of ABA versus Block Party and the host of Beyond the Science podcast. And that's a platform where we amplify diverse voices in the field, share experiences, and we often talk about things that go unheard in our field. I'm originally from Alabama, and that's a place that really taught me the power of community, resilience, and pride in where I come from. Now, today I do live in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's a city that really has inspired me to think bigger, to dream bigger, and to build stronger teams and to lead with purpose. Now, everything that I do is centered on creating opportunities. So, not just for myself, but for others that look like me and have been historically left out of the conversation, as well as other people in the field that I work with. Now, when I first entered the field, I realized something very quickly, and that was that there weren't a lot of people that looked like me. Not at conferences, not at leadership roles, not in the research being celebrated. There just wasn't a lot of people that looked like me. And at first, I really tried to fit in. It was hard enough as it was to try to fit in, to try to stay quiet. But eventually, I know I wasn't really seen like I wanted to be. And over time, I really decided that blending in wasn't the goal. So standing up and making sure I was seen became the goal for me. And a defining moment for me really was when I went to a national conference early on in my career. And I walked into this massive room with a lot of people that were really influential. But yet I couldn't count on the number of my hand how many black men there were in the room. And so there's when I really realized that representation isn't just about being seen, it's about being expected, it's about being valued, and it's also about being included. Now, that moment really sparked for me a deeper purpose in myself. So it wasn't just about finding my space, it was really about creating a space with where others that really hadn't been seen could be seen. I wanted people to feel belonged. I wanted them to feel like they had purpose and they served value. And so that really motivated me to really start a lot of my endeavors that I've been working on today. Now, at the core mission of what I do and what I believe is that representation can really change lives. When people see themselves reflected in hardship, in innovation, in success, it really expands what they believe and how they position themselves, how they look at themselves, how they think what's possible for themselves. So, for me personally, I really believe in building platforms, not just pedestals. I believe in creating these systems that don't just invite diversity, but they thrive because of it. And I believe that progress doesn't just happen passively, it takes intentional, persistent action. So through my different works with BMBA, with ABA Versus, with Beyond the Science podcast, I'm really building ecosystems that are for belonging. Now, when I talk about belonging, this is what I really mean for me personally. For me, belonging is where Black men are celebrated and amplified, but also where all professionals have community from different backgrounds, where they find their spaces, where they fit in and where they're celebrated. So when I look at the future, I really look at our field and what it looks like when all communities we serve are represented. We want to have everybody represented so that everybody can feel they belong. And when I look back at my journey, I want to look back at myself 10 years ago and be able to be that change that I wanted to see in others in the field as I was growing up. I want to see the networking. I want to see the celebration. I want to see that community because for me, that is so imperative into the field that I serve. So for me, when we talk about the power of community, I will say that one of my greatest truths is that I've learned that leadership without community is hollow. So if you have leadership people in your team, but there isn't community, it doesn't serve the purpose that it's meant to serve. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. For me, everything meaningful I've built personally has been made possible because of the people who believed in the vision with me. So it takes people surrounded by you to have the same vision and have similar alignment in order for the dream to come true, in order for the purpose to come true. So, community for me is what turns individuals' success into a collective progress, having that community around you. And it's really what transforms simple ideas into movements. So, you may have an idea, but when you surround yourself with people who have similar ideas, well, then it becomes a movement and the juices start flowing. And it also keeps you grounded because this journey will get hard along the way. You will need people that you need in your corner to keep you in line, to remind you of the vision, to pick you up when you're feeling down. So that's super powerful that we have that and that we surround ourselves with that. And for me personally, that's what keeps me going every day. So for me, continuing to build my community every day requires me to. It's not about fame or status. It's just it requires heart. It requires heart and purpose. It's about showing up for people. It's about creating spaces where others feel safe, others feel celebrated. I love to celebrate people in the work that I do with all my different platforms. You'll see me do it all the time because I think celebration is one thing that brings everybody together. And there's so much more that brings us together than separates us. So when you lift others up as you climb, that only helps others behind you and others in front of you see that. And it's inspirational, it's motivational. And for me personally, it's what drives me and it's what my purpose is. So when we build together, we all rise higher. And it's something that I like to preach in all of the endeavors that I work in, whether I'm talking to students, whether I'm talking to teachers, whether I'm at an organizational summit. It's something that I preach about the power of community. So, for all our listeners today, I want to invite you guys to think about the role that you play when it comes to building a future. It's not just about your personal goals. I would say it's more about you asking yourself, who am I looking at? What am I making room for? Whose voice am I amplifying? What legacy do I want to leave behind? When it comes to Black men in behavior analysis, the legacy I want to leave is the power of community, mentorship, resources. How can I leave this field in a better place than it was when I left it, rather when I came? And when I think about ABA versus, the legacy that I want to leave is I want to have a community where people can intentionally network, where they can be celebrated, where they can come together and share ideas and really be intentional about the way in which they grow together. And then when it comes to my podcast, Beyond the Science podcast, the legacy I want to leave is how can we amplify diverse voices? How can we bring people on stage that may not be heard before or previously? And how can we bring their story to an audience in such a way where people learn something that they have not learned before? When people see things, hear about ideas that they hadn't heard before in the literature and other ways. So when we talk about legacy and what I want to leave in my projects, that's something that I want to leave as well. And I also am building conferences and events surrounding those conferences, like the Behavior Technician Conference, like the BMBA Summit, that brings a lot of people together to celebrate underrepresented backgrounds and to bring to light things that people may not see in their normal everyday articles or advertisements and things of that nature. So for me, all this really comes down to leadership. And for me, leadership is not just a title, right? It's action. It's it's making small choices every day of being a light to people. How are you inspiring people? How are you showing up for people that look up to you and people that have similar and aligned values to you? That's what leadership is about for me personally. So if you're listening to this and you're looking at a starting point, I invite you to connect with me. Learn about the communities we're building through Black Men in Behavior Analysis. learn about the communities that we're building through ABA Versus, through Beyond the Science podcast. We're always looking for people that are ready to lead with heart, that are ready to lead with purpose. So if you're looking to start that, if you're looking to connect, I invite you to learn about these communities. And I would love to learn about the communities that you guys are in as well. One thing that really inspires me personally is knowing when I'm getting these messages from people that I may have done events with previously, and they say, Jeron, your work has been inspiring. The organization that you've created has brought value in this way. And for me personally, that's what keeps me going. That's my reinforcement of knowing that maybe how I maybe looked 10 years ago, I'm inspiring people that are still coming up. And I'm also leading change and being a disruptor in other places and other communities with leading by example. So I really want to leave you guys with a quote that I think really has shaped me in the way that I lead, in the way that I talk. And that is, be the person you needed when you were younger. And I'm going to repeat that, is be the person that you needed when you were younger. Because you don't have to be perfect. None of us have it figured out, I promise you. We all are still figuring it out. But you just have to show up. You have to be consistent. And you have to be bold. And I will say one thing that I really pride myself on is being authentic. Because when you're authentic and you're vulnerable and people see that side of you, it really opens up people to connect with you more. Um, and you have to really believe that you're enough. All right. You have to believe that you belong. You have to believe that you are a person, or you are an organization rather, that can make change. And sometimes it will be small. But those little nuggets of time, those little nuggets of effort that you're putting in, it really does all add up. So another last thing that I want to leave you guys with is really thinking about what your values are, because that's kept me grounded in all of my endeavors that I work on. Because sometimes it is easy to stray, it is easy to um, really leave those values that you may have started when maybe success comes, or different people may come in your life. But I think if you come back to those values, that's what's going to keep you going. And that's what's kept me going. So I really appreciate you guys allowing me to share my story with you guys. I can't wait to see what you guys' stories are, and how that inspire. But I really hope that I've been able to give you guys the nuggets of who I am, the organizations that I'm leaving, and how we can continue as an organization, as a group, as a field, to continue to make progress in a way that inspires change and continues to affect people in a very positive way. Thank you.